Joe Rogan literally has the left's panties in a bunch. Twitter has erupted with liberal tears. They're outraged once again. What is the Hugo Chavez Venezuela 2.0 democratic regime going to do with Joe Rogan? They seem to not be able to shut him up. I wonder what lengths and measures that they're going to go in trying to cancel him now, especially when someone has their own opinion and it does not 100% go along with the Democratic Party's messaging, along with all fake news media and these big tech companies going along with the bull crap. Joe Rogan is in the news, and you can't make this shit up. He's telling the truth once again. This time he's bashing the Democrats over their COVID Wuhan response on their policies, their forced mandates, the whole nine, their anti-American sentiments, telling the American people, telling his listeners that have more views than CNN and any other of these fake news media outlets like MSDNC, telling them that they need to vote Republican. If you haven't heard about it, I'm going to play the video here in a minute. He was on the show recently with Aaron Rodgers, which is always, he's had his controversy with the whole forced lockdowns when it came around to talking about the Wuhan. So for YouTube purposes, even though they've came out and said that they've changed their guidelines where we are now allowed to talk about masks and this Wuhan, I want to put the disclaimer on there anyway because I don't trust them and I never will. So if you want more information on the Wuhan COVID-19 subject, make sure you go on down there to the CDC website to get more information. With that being said, let's go right into it. So basically, Joe Rogan was on his show, The Joe Rogan Experience with Aaron Rodgers, and they got to talking about, the Wuhan, the Wuhan response. They got to talking about how the Democratic leadership, with their hypocrisies, the double standards, their mandates of forced lockdowns, people losing their jobs, forcing people to get the soy sauce in their arm, all the way to their anti-American sentiments, the whole nine. And Aaron Rodgers, eventually, he asks him, well, what should people do? What are we going to do? He said, I would tell them, vote Republican. And as you guys probably know, Twitter and all the other medias and Democratic, romantically in love with the Democrat talking heads, obviously did not like that because it doesn't go along with their messaging. So, and then he got to talking about Ron DeSantis and how his response to the whole pandemic, right, is pretty much a model of how the rest of the country should be going off of. I'm a Floridian. I think that Ron DeSantis, his response was amazing. I still think, other things is bullcrap, but I'll digress on that. But he made sure he put an emphasis on the elderly. He didn't keep people locked down like we've seen with a lot of the blue states. I think that everything that he did was a model on how the United States should be ran, which Joe Rogan even said it sets him up for a possible be a running mate or presidential candidate, whatnot, which that's another subject, but it sets him up for that. I think that what he did was a model example of what the rest of the country should have did, and some follow some of the things that he did, and he stayed in the forefront and held his dean, stood his ground. So I'm going to give you more of my commentary. I want to play it real quick, then I'm going to get back. Roll the film.
No one who is alive today had ever experienced a true pandemic. And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to, recognize that some serious errors were made and not repeat those. That's the best you can get out of it.
So what do you tell those people?
Vote Republican.
Vote Republican. Vote Republican. And as you can hear, Aaron Rodgers is laughing in the background, but it's true. The American people are sick of this regime that's literally turning our country into Venezuela. We know that their response when it came to this pandemic, the Wuhan, that it was buffoonery. A lot of the stuff that they were doing was unconstitutional. People were losing their job. How do you say that you're going to stop to slow the spread for 14 days because hospitals are overran, but then you get to a point where you fire your first responders, your nurses, doctors, and whoever else didn't want to go get the saline. You fire them that literally sacrificed their own lives and sacrificed everything, putting themselves on the front line to help those that were affected by it. How do you go about firing them in some of these blue states? That's how they were doing people. The American people ain't dumb. It don't, this is a nonpartisan. Anybody with a brain can see that what they did was wrong. I'm sure a lot of those nurses were Democrats or voted the Democrats, as well as Republicans. I know they like to demonize us and stigmatize us. Oh, it's just Republicans and right wingers and all the other buffoonery that comes out of their mouth that they spew. But people were affected. They lost their jobs, pensions, lost businesses because of the forced lockdowns. I mean, you name it. Then you see hypocrisies like in California with Gavin Newsom when he's at football games and outings where he's not even practicing what he's forcing everybody else to do. Rules for thee, but not for me. And we've seen that time and time again with a lot of these Democratic leaders. I don't think they're leaders, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. We've seen it with Fancy Pants Nancy Pelosi. She wanted to get a blowout while everybody else's business is shut down. She forced her hairstylist to open up her business so she can get a blowout. Thank God her hairstylist outed her. And I could go on. The list goes on and on and on of these Democrats and their hypocrisy. But the American people are sick of it. We're sick of the anti-American sentiments. We're sick of the double standards in the justice system, especially with the DOJ and the FBI now with their political theater of raiding former presidents' houses and completely turn blind eyes to like Hillary Clinton. I mean, we could go on and on. The Mueller report, I think they issued out 2,800 subpoenas, nothing. Close to 500 warrants, nothing. So we're sick of the double standard justice system that we have, this two-tiered justice system. The American people are sick of terrorist groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa out there terrorizing innocent people, creating destruction on private property and federal buildings, and nothing turns a blind eye. We're sick of it. We're sick of their rhetoric. We're sick of their special interest groups like the Rainbow Mafia and all the other, the canceling student debt, the handouts, the pandering. I'm sick of it. I'm Republican, I'm conservative, and I know there's Democrats. They can see right through it. The American people are sick of it. Joe Rogan speaking nothing but facts, and I wish more of them would stand out. But you can't cancel him. The more you get mad and the more you try to cancel him, he just becomes more powerful. And Aaron Rodgers, I respect his stance as well. I respect his stance. He stood his ground. He showed the hypocrisies. It was laughable. So I don't know. I don't want to make it long. Tell me what your thoughts are. Your boy is back. I'm going to be full-time with this. Hey, man, you guys know I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to keep telling the truth. If you are first time to this channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to save this country, please share the video. And also to put a middle finger up to the algorithm of these big tech platforms and how they suppress conservative voices, people that are opinionated like me that don't go along with the narrative, that literally can use common sense. Make sure you like, comment, share, put anything in it. Like everybody else's comments, it puts a middle finger up to their algorithm. Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Craig Long 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, wait. You're old.